Tell the DJ not to turn it low. We're gonna rock it on this morning show. Cause I'm not Paul. It's Breakfast with Bob. Oh, yeah.
Poncho Man Championship Edition. We are brought to you by EAS Sports Nutrition, Hoka One One, Polar Oscar Wellness, Velo Fix. We are at beautiful Four Seasons Hualalai, and we're airing on triathlonworld.com. Our next guest, two-time Ironman World Champion, Mr. Jan Frodeno. How you doing, bud? You feeling okay?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I like the new venue.
This is pretty sweet, huh?
I could do this for breakfast.
Pretty much every
special.
day?
Yeah, it's an extra motivation to manage to get on the show.
I love that. So, Jan, it's funny. We're watching from the outside, and we're like, okay, Jan looks really mellow here on the bike, and things look great. But internally, other stuff was going on. You mentioned yesterday that there's a couple points some dark points where you thought, man, I might just pull the plug here.
Yeah, it was mentally, I'd have to say, I always used to think I had my hardest and most persevered race in London when I had 6 weeks of run training leading in before, and I just still managed to save a sixth place. But yesterday definitely topped that. I felt pretty average in the swim and felt worse on the bike. It was just my body didn't give me anything for free. Yeah. And I'm not saying that, obviously I was very, very fit and I was well prepared and all these things, but sometimes you just have a day where it flows, and yesterday was not one of those, and that obviously makes it that much sweeter when it works out in the end.
That's actually, we were talking to Mark Allen about that, and he said, those are the days that you look back on because it didn't go smoothly. There were points where you're questioning, what the heck am I doing this for?
Yeah, honestly, I was especially those last 10Ks in the marathon. I was just like, oh man, why? Why can I not just have the talent to run 100 meters fast or something and just be done?
Why can't I play tennis? Why can't I play golf?
Like
something along that line. I always love it when there's real racing going on. And you come off the bike with Sebastian Keeneland, and here's a guy who won this race 2 years ago, realized that he needed to up the ante on his run, and he ran 2:49. I mean, he has really become a better runner than he was before. Talk a little bit about that battle, and you guys were side by side throughout a good chunk of the run, heading until you got to halfway up Palani. What is it about him that he's become somebody that you've had some good races with now?
Yeah, it's we've talked about this duel, especially in Germany, obviously, for the past 3 years, but it's actually the first time we've gone head-to-head. And you just saw the people's faces light up on the course and just see, it doesn't happen that often that that first place, especially at a World Championship, is just so close, neck and neck, literally. And that's the thing with him, and that's why I love racing him, because he's a racer. And if he gets 5 meters on you, that just boosts his ego and pumps his performance so much. He's going to make those 5 meters 10 meters, and then next thing you know, you're in real trouble. So even though the pace was it was quick,
ridiculous,
it was quick in the beginning.
What were you guys running, you think?
It was sub 6 minute miles. They were telling me we're running about 340 Ks.
340 K.
So that's about a 235, low 2 something like that pace marathon. And I thought, oh well, these battles get the best out of you, and if that's what it's going to take, I'm going to give it a shot.
So this year compared to last year, condition-wise, did it feel like in terms of wind and heat, about the same, a little different?
Yeah, the wind was not really conducive to anything quick on the bike. It seemed like we had a headwind going out and we had a headwind coming back. There was no ridiculously fast stretches. Normally along Waikoloa there, you're sort of flying along at 60, 70k an hour. And yesterday, we were going quick, but it wasn't as quick as last year. And going up Harvey, we had the headwind, so it seemed a little slower on the bike, but on the run, I would say it did feel a little bit more pleasant than the last couple of years.
Did you feel more pressure coming into this race this time as a defending champion and obviously coming off of your 7:35 at Challenge Roth?
Yeah, the pressure did build up on me especially the last couple of days. I was obviously all talking about focusing on my own race and doing all these things, but it definitely built up, and you saw the expectation. And I look at the guys and I look at my contenders and the performances they've done, over the season, and I know that on paper everybody's like, oh yeah, Frodo, world record this, blah blah blah. But anybody who's an athlete knows how much work goes into that and how many hours of training, even, you know, since the last race have gone, and that it's not just that easy. It's a race, and for me especially, you know, success and failure has never been so close as yesterday. Whereas one moment I wanted to give up, the next moment I was winning the race, and I still wanted to give up. But you know, it was definitely a mental battle out there.
It's hard to go to the well multiple times in the same season. And Challenge Roth, I was watching some video. I mean, this guy is going hard, right? You have a huge lead. The course record is out there. Obviously, you wanted that. And how big a hole did you dig during that race?
Well, it's an interesting question now, because in hindsight, I wonder if that's why I was just that little bit, you know, feeling unfresh or a little bit, you know, just struggling throughout the day yesterday. Might have to adjust my season planning for next year and give it a try differently. But in hindsight, obviously, I do it all the same. I do think that missing 70.3 worlds was the key to winning the race for me yesterday, because I just had those extra few beans to spend.
When you win something like this race, it obviously changes people's lives. And winning it 2 times in a row, it puts you in a different world.
Yeah, you said that last week.
I know, it does put you in. I said that it puts you in a different world. Do you feel winning it for the second time, coming out down a lead drive for the second time, different than last time?
It's funny you say that. I have a quick story where we were in Noosa at the triathlon, and there was Crowe and Pete Jacobs and Macca. And they were standing, all three of them, having a chat. And somebody came up and said, "Can I have a photo with you guys?"
Yes.
And they all three of them lined up, and the guy handed Pete his phone and said, "No, can you take the phone?" And
you've only won once.
And the guys were saying, "You have to win it multiple times to make the photo." It was a classic moment. It was very funny.
That is wild.
But back to the question, it was definitely very, very cool. I've never ever managed to repeat one of my victories, and not so much that I just look at the race and the pressure and the adversity you have to deal with before the race that makes it so much harder to repeat. That's why it's that much harder, and that's why I think the feeling about it is that much sweeter again. So,
first time winning this race as a dad. How special was that to see Emma and Luca hanging out at the finish there?
It's been a wonderful journey having them along here, and I get a lot of strength from Emma, especially because she knows what goes on, and she's been incredibly supportive. But of course, the joy of seeing the little man smile, and he was just so intrigued, and with the lei on the head, he couldn't get his eyes off, and it was absolutely unique, and I'm just so forever grateful that I can share this time with my family.
So this, there he is.
There he goes.
He's saying, "Yeah, I get to go on stage." Next year, you have a sense of possibly doing some shorter distance things. You've been doing this now for a few years, a longer distance, and sometimes to be able to continue to go fast, you got to get back to doing shorter distance.
Yeah, I think my training, has been going well and has been such that I haven't lost too much speed or can make that transition again. To be honest, the big thing I'm looking forward is to race more.
Yes.
This year, I was sidelined a bit, mainly because if you go and try and dig deep at two of these distances close to each other, you have to have the base and the training, in your body to be able to sustain that. And I'm looking forward to, especially early season around, doing a few more 70.3s, maybe coming back to the US, doing a little bit of a tour, and just racing for the fun of it.
That would be awesome.
And that's the plan, but we haven't, done any.
When you the Olympic gold, 2 Ironman World Championships, you sort of look at it. Okay, I can drop the mic. What else is there? Right? You've done it all. What else is there?
To be honest, the passion for the sport, that's what there is. I absolutely love this sport. I love being around. I've got a great bunch of guys. My training partner Nick, and Terenzo now has joined us in as well. And it's challenging every day because they don't care what's happened or whatever. They're hungry as ever, and it's just really, really good vibes, and that's why I love doing what I'm doing. And until I until that changes, I'm not going to step away from it.
A German sweep. Last time we've had that was 1997. What's the reaction back home right now? It must be crazy.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing because it was shown live on TV1, on the biggest TV station, which actually instead of soccer.
No way.
Imagine that
instead
in Germany.
Of soccer.
Yeah.
What the heck?
It was a big deal, and therefore it was in every, in all the media and the feedback. I haven't been able to go through it all yet because it's been that massive, and amongst athletes from different sports, it's the support has been crazy, and so is the feedback. So.
Well, I look at you as not just an athlete, but as an entertainer and somebody who, when you win the Ironman, you sort of represent the sport, and you're doing a phenomenal job with that. But you're also a guy who puts himself out there, and you say, hey, I'm going to challenge Roth, and I'm going to break the record. But that's great, right? You
got to do that to get the people involved.
Exactly,
because,
right?
It's what people expect, and they're only going to watch, world record or something, the sound of it. You can forever debate, especially in triathlon circles, like, is it a valid course? And it is actually a valid 180K for anybody that wants to know. But that doesn't really matter. To get people involved, you have to make a kind of a call and a big call, which adds a bit of pressure. But, it's fantastic. It's a fantastic time in our sport.
I remember talking to Craig Alexander once and just saying, does it get old? You got all these media commitments. As the guy who wins the race, you have more commitments the following year than anybody else. He goes, no, when that goes away, that's why I'm here, right? That's exactly what I want. I want to grow the sport, and to grow the sport and grow my own brand, it's important to be out there, important to be visible. So we got the next kids in there. Is that important to you?
Yeah, there's the element, of course, of the sport growing and the whole, marketing going crazy and the money that's flowing to the sport. But the bigger thing yet is to inspire the age groupers, the next generation, fellow pros, just raising the bar, and it's crazy when you look at the overall level that's now needed to qualify in Kona, whether you're a pro or not. It's definitely, it seems like it's growing, and you see you go along Alihi the week beforehand, and you think there's 1,000 pros racing. So it's very cool to see.
With what's happening in the sport, we just come off the Olympics. Alistair Brownlee, Johnny Brownlee, Richard Murray, Mario Mola, Javier Gomez, all those guys. I'm assuming this next year might be looking Chattanooga 70.3 World Championships. You welcome that, getting more of the ITU guys, some of your brethren stepping over here?
Yeah, it'll be very exciting when they step it up, especially, that 70.3 racing is still very close to ITU, so you can make that transition.
Yeah.
And it's going to force some pressure on us as athletes, and that's always a good thing, when you're looking for that extra bit in training, that extra motivation. It's definitely something that spurs me on, and I'm looking forward to seeing them and introducing them to this side of the sport, I guess.
I love it. Our guest, two-time Ironman World Champion, Mr. Jan Frodeno. How about a round of applause? Yo, Luca, put them together. Yeah, nice. Luca, yeah. Luca's like, it's for Luca.
We're gonna rock it on this morning show. Say hey now. I'm not Bob. It's Breakfast with Bob and Brother Young.